Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Mirikitani with a very special episode of Mat Chat brought to you by USA Wrestling, the national governing body for wrestling in the United States. I'm here today with Edmond North Jr., Joseph or Joe. I always call you Joseph because I'm friends with your dad, Joe, but what do you want to go by?
Yeah, Joseph's good. Joseph or even Jeter.
Joseph Jeter. So you are here today to announce your collegiate decision, which we'll get to in a couple minutes. I became friends with your dad and you a couple years ago at Hall of Fame duels. I don't really know how you started. Like, how old were you when you got into wrestling?
I started when I was 4.
Oh my God. Okay. So you've been doing it for a minute. Your mom and dad seem like the kind of people that will kind of take you anywhere and everywhere to, get you the best coaching, best competition. Tell me what it was like growing up with those kind of parents.
Yeah, I mean, we went everywhere across the country. Mainly it was whenever I lived in Texas, we went up to Oklahoma every weekend just to wrestle a better competition. And even we'd gone across the entire country to find the best competition too.
Yeah, your dad has helped me with some of the border brawl events and things like that. Like, he seems to know almost all the dads across the country, but I guess that makes sense with all the traveling and stuff you've done. Tell folks at home that have never been recruited, because I had this happen to me 100 years ago. What is it like to start getting calls from college coaches and to sort of realize, like, hey, I'm going to be able to go to college and wrestle, which I'm sure has been a goal of yours for a while?
Yeah, it's a really good feeling. Starting June, whenever I was at the Pan Am camp, whenever I started getting calls, and I mean, it's just a great feeling to be able to, for all your hard work, to be recognized. It's a really good feeling. And to continue that process, to start visiting those schools, it's really fun.
Where all did you make visits to, Joseph?
Well, I made visits to OU, Cornell, Stanford, Illinois, Princeton, and Iowa State.
And without giving too much away about where you're going to go yet, I would assume those are all very different experiences. We're talking East Coast, West Coast, we're talking Ivy League. We're talking high-quality state universities. I think we're probably talking about coaches that you've had longer-term relationships, and then with coaches that you built relationships with. So just overall, if, a kid's watching this who's younger than you, what can they kind of expect on these kind of visits?
I mean, you get to meet completely new lineups. I mean, the teams are all the coaches are great too. And then you get to meet the entire teams. It's a really fun experience there too. And then every campus is different in its own way. A lot of them are Princeton was really old. Cornell is really old. You have those old campuses, then you have newer campuses Iowa State's pretty new. And it's just fun being able to experience all the wide variety of schools. It's just really, really fun.
Yeah, I'll bet. And even the older universities have newer wrestling facilities. They're all, they're all in the arms race. They all got a gazillion mats and nutritionists and all these other things. So it's so much different when I was going through this process, because now it's kind of like spit on it, rub it in the dirt, and keep going. So now we're a lot smarter about how we take care of you guys. So let's talk about a little bit about where you see yourself in college, like what weight class you wrestled 50 at Ironman, but I know you and Cody cut a lot of weight, and you guys are now more at weight where you're allowed to eat more than one meal a week. So you're at 57 and 65 respectively. Your dad's a big guy. Your mom's tall. Do you see yourself kind of a 65, 74, 84 in that range in college, or more 50, more 57-ish?
I definitely see myself as being maybe 65 minimum. So I was thinking anywhere from 74 to the 80s too. And I mean, next year I'm thinking about bumping up a lot of weight classes just to be able to put on some good muscle mass.
Yeah, well, I know you lift, but you know how that works. I mean, sometimes you lift and it sticks, and sometimes you lift and it doesn't. And when it sticks, I think, I've talked to your dad about this. I think you're just going to blow up in a good way, and the bell curve, a lot of the best guys are in the middle, so as you get bigger and heavier, but you've wrestled at lower weights, you tend to have an advantage because you wrestled with a higher skill set. We were talking about Hall of Fame duels your freshman year, and we were talking about one of the key moments in the finals duel was when you wrestled KOUs, and you lost. You lost 6, I think it was 6-0, something like that.
It was 7-2. I lost points. But
Okay,
yeah,
5 points. Okay,
bonus, which was pretty
but
big.
you didn't get bonused, and we were talking. Me and Hardell Moore were talking about the importance of duels and how when that match ended, your bench was going crazy and their bench was really quiet. And I don't think it takes an educated fan to understand that, right? Like you're a freshman, you're wrestling against a guy who's basically up for like the Heisman Trophy of high school wrestling, and you lose by 5 and you don't give away bonus points. And it's, what was that like to kind of lose but win, so to speak, that early in your high school career?
Yeah, I mean, it really sucks to lose any match, but I mean, it did help a little bit to know that he's a really good wrestler, and I didn't get bonus at all, and I mean, I wish I would have at least gone like a takedown, but
Sure.
I was happy with how I did as a freshman there.
Well, you look at the duel, you guys ended up winning by 2 points, so clearly a tech fall or fall is, the tech fall. Now I got to go back and figure out criteria like we had to last year. But, a fall, and not that you would get pinned, but if he pins a lot of guys. So if that happens, that's significant too. Before you reveal who your choice is and the why, I want to give you a chance to thank some people. I know a lot of the people on your high school coaching staff, but I wanted to give you a chance to name those folks, your parents, and then anybody else who's been helpful to you along the way.
Yeah, so I mean, first, my high school coaches, Andy Snyder, Sam Hazewinkle, Coach James, Coach Arnold, Boo Llewellyn, and I mean, that's the people from my high school. I want to thank my family too, and even all my my older coaches that helped me with like Little League. So like Colby Robinson, Floyd Lorne from Heritage. Now he's coaching his own club now, and Zoe.
Yeah, then, I know all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, even John Powell too, or Josh Powell. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. You've had a lot of people pour themselves into you. As you get older, I always tell people when you're like 15, your parents are kind of the dumbest people in the world, and when you get to be about 25, they're the smartest people in the world, and they didn't change; just your perspective changed. As you get ready to announce this decision, do some of the things that your mom and dad did or said kind of start to make more sense as you're kind of entering this new phase of your life? Like, hey, now I'm a college commit. I know wrestling stopped being just for fun and games for you a while back. I had a pretty good front row seat when you made a world team. But, when it's real like this, do you look back and go, man, like these people, they're not taking a lot of vacations and things like that, so I can chase my dreams?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a hard question. It's I mean, a big part of it is just like whenever everyone else is on vacation, you're training in the room, and it becomes fun and games, and then it turns into work. I mean, you can still have fun, watch that work too, and that's what I kind of did, and then, I mean, that's how I kind of spiked. While everyone else is having fun on vacation, I'm having fun in the wrestling room, getting better.
Yeah, I didn't place my freshman year at State, and my dad and I made a pact I wouldn't take a day off for 52 weeks. And, I felt like I earned the one the second year. I didn't earn the one the first year. I didn't do what I needed to do. And that, like those times when you're working out on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and getting a run in on Thanksgiving or getting an extra lift in, at a certain point, I deserve to win. And then you guys got to break through. You got to win some matches. One last thing before we make your announcement, or you do. What was it like to make a world team? How important was like Sam Hazewinkle in that process? Because I'm old enough. I coached against Sam when he was a true freshman in college, which didn't go well for me, by the way. So, but how cool was it to make a world team? Wear the USA on your chest, and how much did that help you grow? And I know it's Greco, but still, confidence is confidence. 5th in the world, and a style that's not your best style by far. So, how much was this past summer of value to you?
Yeah, it was very surprising. I didn't expect to win, but I mean, I was unseeded going into that bracket and ended up winning. And I mean, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life to be able to go to first Dominican Republic for Pan Ams, and then going over to Jordan, like halfway across the world.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just it's an amazing experience, and I won't ever forget it. And Sam was a massive part of it. I mean, he's one of the best Greco guys you can find in Oklahoma, and even like
In the country. In the
Yeah.
country for sure. He
Yeah.
just happens to live in Oklahoma. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would just come into my backyard. I mean, it was perfect. And I think that's one of the main reasons I was able to even make the finals. So
He did a lot of good work with you in the corner. You know, I got to listen to some of those conversations, and really calm, really smart, very cogent, right to the point, and did a good job of you did a good job of keeping yourself calm. But, you know, the one or two times where maybe you might have gotten frazzled, he did a good job of just getting you locked back in. And for people that don't know, you know, you were unseated. The rumor has it you might have forgotten one of your singlets, and your dad had to go to the store and buy one. And, you know, but it was the first time I spent like a lot of time with you, and I was impressed by your poise. You know, that a lot of kids would be mad or upset or intimidated by the seeding process, and I'm just going to wear red or blue and go out there and let it rip. And you had a pretty dominant path till the finals, and then dominated the first match, and then
dominated.
You got beat in the second match. You got out Greco'd. And then in the third match, I just thought you showed a lot of courage. Like, you're willing to put yourself into some positions where you could lose the match. But you're not a Greco guy. And that other guy was more of a Greco specialist. And you let him just walk you around, you were going to lose, at least in my opinion. And to watch you just let it rip, that final sequence where you put together like I think it was like a 1, a 2, and a 4 or something crazy like that, you know, and, you know, to watch Sam and your dad go crazy, that was pretty cool. What did it feel like when you hit that last sequence and literally knew you were, you know, on Team USA?
I mean, it's undescribable. It's such a good feeling to know that you punched a hole into to being on Team USA and be able to represent yourself, being able to represent your own country and wear that singlet. And I mean, those singlets I'm going to keep those for the rest of my life. It's just such hopefully get some more too next year. So
yeah, for sure. Well, and shout out to Edmond North. You and Bella Williams are the first boy and girl to make world teams. You know, so shout out to Andy and DJ. And the one thing I messed up at Hall of Fame duels, Joseph, was I didn't get a picture of all the guys that have wrestled in border brawl at one point or another, including Boo. Boo was in the first one. So hopefully I'll see you guys at state and maybe able to grab a picture or something like that. All right. We will, without any further ado, the final schools in some order were Princeton, Cornell, Illinois, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and there was one. And so who's getting Joseph Jeter? Where are we going?
I got my hat right here.
Attaboy.
To Cornell University.
You Cornell guys know how to make announcements. You know, Knox puts on the shirt over the Batman singlet. Jude does it at Powerade, and now they got you doing it on USA Wrestling. So Mike Gray's got something cooking up there. Obviously, some great recruiting classes going on. Tell me specifically about your visit to Cornell that was so attractive to you.
Man, it was a main part of it was the atmosphere. It just felt like right when I got there, I was a part of the family already, and the team was great. The coaches were amazing, and I feel like my style of wrestling fits really well with some of the coaches like McFadden and even Yanni too. I just feel like it's a really good fit for me, and I mean, I just enjoyed the visit overall a lot. So.
Yeah, and you know, McFadden's like super fundamental. Yanni's maybe one of the best feel guys in the sport, right? Like, he kind of does things that you kind of have to explain later. And, you know, he was a part of one of the events we did last year. Couldn't be a nicer guy, you know, super nice young man. I think Meyer Shapiro's a low-key asset to you as well, right? Because he's right around, you'll end up being bigger than him, I think, but another guy that's had world success at the less than senior level, at the age group level, and who also does some really unorthodox things. And obviously, if you guys are getting into Cornell, like, being smart and having a high wrestling IQ is really a non-issue. You guys know what you're doing there. So I assume you probably talked to Coach Gray either yesterday or today and let him know.
Yes, sir.
How was that?
It was a fun call. I think they're about to head off to Southern Scuffle, or it was some tournament. Yeah. So they're in a hotel room. Hopped on a Zoom call with all the coaches and told them my commitment. So.
That's awesome. And I talked to you and your dad in this week, when you were, making this decision. I know you want to take a minute and just thank the other coaches that recruited you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm very thankful for the opportunity that every coach gave me, and it was an amazing experience for every single college visit that I took, and I'm very thankful for the opportunities.
Yeah, well, Cornell got themselves a good one. When you get to the end of the year, maybe not at your age, but you're my age, you kind of look back on what were the cool things that happened in 2024. I certainly think you making a world team and you and your dad letting me be in the corner made my top 10. So that was pretty cool for a guy doing podcast and running an event. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
So I will see you in about 8 weeks. I'll be with Hardell doing the commentary for the state finals down at OSSAA. So shout out to Wes Ruth and all those guys for bringing me on board. And anything else before we let you get out of here and probably go run or lift or do something like that?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you all next week.